Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Z's and Zers, people of consenting age. Welcome to Monday. A lot of shit happened this weekend. A lot of shit happened a week before for me, but we're not even going to get into that. However, rest in peace, General Powell. Let's go ahead and convene the council. Hello, Lou. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, I'm glad you went ahead and took it right there.
Hello, Thad.
How many hundreds of thousands of people is that guy responsible for the murder of exactly?
I'm gonna go with
as we sit here and weep over him.
I would say at least 100,000 in South America when he was the guy funding, training all the Sandinista or the bad people there, including Duarte.
Yeah, I mean he's the guy that paraded up in front of the United Nations with his fake little fucking anthrax vial, right?
Oh, the one regretted that.
The one that got all of us, the one that got us all anthrax shotted.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Speaking of forced vaccine, speaking of forced inoculation, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that worked out. That worked out real well too.
I got three too many.
I got two.
They were like, "Oh shit, why do we keep giving you this?" I'm like, "I don't know. You're the medical people. You should know this shit." And they're like, you should be fine."
First shot, sucked. Second shot, I wanted to kill myself. Fucking arm was on fire for like a day.
Right, and it's all up in your joints. All up in your joints.
All right, never mind. But no,
vaccines are safe and effective.
What I did find amusing again is the left trying to say, hey, this guy was a cool guy. Let's cut him some slack. He was only a war criminal 20 years ago.
Literally a war criminal to the left, literally less than a decade ago. And they're cool with them. Bullshit with McCain.
Well, how does that make an excuse? And now here's the thing: is typically I give Fury these passes because he obviously knows a lot more about conflict than I do. But when it comes to people like Powell, I sit here and I think to myself, when are we going to accept the fact that all of these motherfuckers are goddamn evil? Yeah. And at best, he was just a patsy.
No, he was definitely an instrument for the Bush administration policy to sell to the world, because at the time he still had gravitas to sell to the world, that there were mobile WMD producing whatevers, which made no sense. And yeah, he said he regretted it, but then he was doing that what I like to call the woke apology tour, trying to remake his legacy, voting for fucking Obama, which all right, I understand. That's the identity politics move, right?
Yeah, that's the obligatory
right. One Milano for the other.
That's no remake. That's just more of the same old regime.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Colin Powell, he was involved in Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm the first time, Desert Storm the second time, Afghanistan. At some point, what's that line from Batman?
Right.
When you fight so long, you wind up becoming the villain. And this is the situation with Colin Powell, because again, he came from nothing. Dove in nose first into a military career, didn't know where it was going to go. And he went somewhere. He did. And that at that time frame, not a whole lot of black folks were going somewhere like Colin Powell did.
So it should give you pause, right?
Right. Well, I wouldn't say that there was any kind of favoritism. I mean, he was a brilliant tactician. He was. However, at some point, the song remains the same, but the words change. I feel like he lost his way and he got really muddled into bureaucracy, into doing the State Department's dirty work, as well as the DOD, to where, shut up, this is how it's played in the big leagues once he moved up from colonel.
Yeah. What? No, that's generally
put some marbles up your ass, Colin.
Yeah.
Right. But that's why he wasn't your first president. That's why he wasn't your first president. That's the one thing I'll say that Colin Powell, to me, at least rectified some of his bullshit near the end of his career, was he knew exactly what Obama was. He was their first pick. Colin Powell was the first guy to be elevated to be like, you'll be our first black president. And he was like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. I'm good with all that.
Well, let's not, on top of, before we get into the knee deep of trashing his career and stuff like that, let's keep in mind some perspective on what Colin Powell actually was. Colin Powell was the general that didn't end the Iraq War the first time.
Right. It got too bleeding heart. That's when the stages of the American fighting men started to be really controlled by bureaucrats.
Because let's put it to you bluntly, right? Yeah, all right, he has blood on his hands and stuff like that, but may he rest in hell. But that's what I want my generals to be: men with blood on their hands. And
the
fact of the matter is, we went into that conflict. We went into that first Gulf War conflict, and we could have ended it very
Whose blood,
brutally.
though? Whose blood? Are we okay with him having our blood on his hands as well?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm saying I'm making a general argument. I'm not making a statement one way or another from a moral standpoint. I'm just saying he was not as strong a leader in his latter days as he should have been.
Right.
If you wanted to win war. Right. I mean, and then he went to the State Department. Same thing happened to Mattis. That should probably tell you something about
They lose their balls.
The deep state.
They lose their balls, and they
lose their balls. They stuff the marbles up their ass.
Right. They lose their convictions and basically all their basic principles that they preach to their men, and the basic principles that they preach to all of the, hey, go over there and check this car out. You may get your face blown off or whatever. They don't even look at that anymore. The minutia of what you are. And when you get up to that level, you can't forget where you came from. You can't forget the guys that you were telling or lecturing or gassing up and telling them that they were the best of the best, or that they were well trained and they know what they're doing, the professionals. Then you throw them around like fucking spitballs and straws. You really don't give a shit if the guys don't have heat or a warm place to sleep or a shitter that works or clean water to drink. The logistics go out the fucking window once you get up to these upper echelons of shit. And it's sad to see leaders that were somebody turn into the fucking evil that we knew existed when we were serving under them.
Can I tell y'all a funny story? Can I tell y'all a great story that happened to me when I found out about this story? I also at the same time found out that Rumsfeld died earlier. It was a twofer for me. I was having
you didn't. How the fuck did you not know that one of the person who has the most blood on his hand died before?
Exactly.
Why the hell did you not know that?
I must have just took it and just, there's been so much these last years that I just must have
glossed over it.
Literally,
his dad. It's like
I have a
no. There was another evil. There's an
year.
even more evil motherfucker who died before him. You do realize this, right?
But you know what's even more sad about this is in the age of technology that we have, that people know about this shit now. People didn't know. Only the people that got hurt by J. Edgar Hoover knew about J. Edgar Hoover. But nobody else fucking knew or had anything at their fingertips to understand what a fucking absolute asshole bastard he was and how evil he would go to take care of what he wanted to take care of. Kind of like the guy that shot the dude in the face with a shotgun. Who was that? Bush's right-hand man?
That would probably be Cheney.
Yeah, Cheney. That guy is such a fucking...
You're talking about when Homeboy got peppered?
Yeah, got blasted in the face with a shotgun.
That was just a little pepper.
Whoops! Whoops!
Pepper.
We're all in orange. You looked like a bird.
I mean, I'll take any opportunity to shit all over Dick Cheney, but, usually that's because he's fucking me up the ass, and that's just what happens.
Right, but I look at Hoover. Cheney is our Hoover. Like, you're going to line your pockets, you're going to build up your sphere of influence in strength and power, and then fall into obscurity.
Well,
isn't that American politics?
No. Fall into obscurity the first time, make a fuck ton of money, and then the very apparatus that you put into place the first time you were within the evil empire come back and then utilize the very apparatus.
Him and Rummy.
I'm watching.
That's right. Rumsfeld, brought Rumsfeld back too. I mean, all in all, man, like, this is not to say that Colin Powell doesn't deserve to be shitted on for being part of the military-industrial complex and the diplomatic corps that is the State Department, who I can't fucking stand.
But isn't it even rumored that Rumsfeld or Cheney was the one that bugged Richard Nixon's office in the first place?
Oh, they're all dirty.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, you got to think, man. When people like Roger Stone,
and it wasn't
Cheney, Rumsfeld, all these guys were part of that administration.
But the thing is, like, they still had to Epstein those motherfuckers back then, because it wasn't until Nixon came back and said, "Hey, China's all, or Russia." Either he said China or Russia. I think he said Russia's all good. Russia's all good. Let's do business with them. And they were like, "Nope, that's not part of the plan." And they started.
Well, he opened up China. So I mean, did he do what he was told? I mean, Nixon opened up China. We signed a lot of anti-ballistic missile treaties with the Soviet Union at the time, and he opened up China. If anything, he did the bidding of these
Kissinger. Of Kissinger? You mean almost like Kissinger's been running the show this whole time? And his little proteges like Colin Powell and Millie and all these other fucking guys.
Who else?
There was only one time
Kissinger
didn't trust him.
Was an acolyte of Kissinger. I'm just trying to keep it within the realm of things that I know for a fact, as opposed to these dark holes that you motherfuckers go down.
Right.
Okay, so fine. We can kind of bring it out of the dark hole a little bit, but it's like, look, at some point Americans are going to have to realize, I guess they've finally taken the red pill, especially on the right, that George W. Bush was a piece of shit. And it's like, well, once you kind of go there, you go there, you got to start thinking about these other people that were involved with his old man and everything else. Right. So, that all aside, but it's hilarious for me to watch the simping. Yeah. The simping from the people that we've considered to be kind of more woke Republicans that we've spoken to, and I'm watching them do their whole post where they just they're over there
they hated the guy. They hated him when he voted for Obama in 2008 and then again in 2012.
But now we're all gonna sit there and do this whole thank you for your service bullshit.
I'm partial to the man because he shows every infantryman that you can have pretty much everything stacked against you, even if you guys feel that he was an evil piece of shit.
Yes,
as an infantry guy, he had cross rifles on his collar and he had a blue cord on his shoulder. To me, I at least can acknowledge Colin Powell's a cheat. I can admire that.
Casts understand in the warrior. You don't want the warrior cast to be disillusioned with their leaders. You can tear down their leaders later.
They are.
Well, then I gotta. Well, then
I mean, no. I'm talking.
They don't have leaders now. They don't have
leaders now. We don't.
That's what happens when you find out that your leaders are a bunch of pieces of shit that sold this country out.
Right, and I got a juxtaposition right now.
How many trillions of dollars were made by contractors in these fucking conflicts that we went and started? What do you think that was about? That destabilization in the region served to enrich all of these motherfuckers that are now taking over the entire globe.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was going to have...
That's not an American dream. That's a corporate, globalist, feudalist dream.
Right.
I want to talk to you all about that honor in your respective leaders, because in Chicago, you have a situation with Mayor Lightfoot is basically saying the Chicago PD head of the police department there is inciting an insurrection at this moment. How do you feel about that? And this is all over a mandate where supposedly they don't have the ability.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's the exact same situation as the military, but it's.
Here's where I go black. Here's where I go black like Sean. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They're like they are willing.
That's pretty much
I am sitting and experiencing a leadership or a management or a managerial state that is at all levels who is willing to deal with the 2, 3, 4, 5, 10% loss for the greater good. They're willing to, from a nihilistic standpoint, to let Chicago not only degrade from anarchy into complete fucking depravity by virtue of threatening these men. It's almost like, think of it like this, people. Fury will remember this.
Mm-hmm.
What was this dumb thing? Once we toppled the statue in Baghdad, what was the dumb shit that we did? What's the first fucking thing we did that led to nearly 7 years of insurgency?
Oh, we told them that we're going to give them their first free election, and then we started building bases all over.
No. Something else preceded that. The military and security structure we disbanded.
Oh yeah, they're military. We completely disbanded the IP.
Fighting age men we had trained to serve and protect their country, or at the very least, serve and protect their dictator.
Right, they dipped.
Training,
you're gone.
Weapons, and stuff like that. I'm not saying this to be scary. I'm saying is I don't feel comfortable with the very police who you guys were shitting on for better part of a year, who are trained in weapons, tactics, whatever, and you're just going to be like, your services is no longer wanted because you won't take this jab. They, as I have said numerous times, the man who you made submit will live with that indignity for life until
they'll never
she
forget.
extracts revenge.
You
Correct.
do realize that this is all part of the plan. I mean, look, what do you think Iraq and Afghanistan were? They were practice run. They were a practice run. They were a practice run for the United States and what they're doing right now with this fucking bullshit bioweapon. They're destabilizing everything. Lori Lightfoot's a fucking piece.
Yeah.
God, she's worried about inciting insurrections because the woman's never incited an erection. I just had to say that.
Oh, that was good. No, that was good.
But I did want to make
she plays on the par 6, bro. She don't like she likes carpet.
Yeah, I did want to make a more serious point besides just calling the bitch ugly because she is. But the thing is that this is just more the destabilization. Look, they're destroying the police. I was in Minnesota. What do you think's happened there with no police?
Jesus.
The
Gun
city,
battles
the
at
city.
George
It's
Floyd's
a beautiful
circle.
city. Yeah, it's a beautiful city, but it's gone to hell. There's just crime rampant, even to the point that they tried to do a bunch of fraudulent charges on my card at the hotel.
Jeez.
So just shit like that, and it's like, okay, this was what it was. It was like Combat Rev was telling me I was lucky to have made it out the city with my catalytic converter intact, because at $2,000 a pop, they just run around to the parking lots of the hotels with a sawzall and cut them out.
That shit kind of sounds like Albuquerque.
Law. There's no traffic law there anymore because the police are not pulling people over for traffic violations.
On CNN.
And again, I'm seeing the same thing happen in all these democratic cities. This is a plan. They're destabilizing the country because they want to bring in a different power. They want people to lose all faith in these institutions. That's why they're more than happy to parade Colin Powell up there and say, oh, well, he was double vaccinated, but he died from COVID anyways, because they want people to doubt the entire institution. That's the whole point of all that. They don't care that people know that the vaccine's poison. They want them to know it's poison because it will destroy this country. Listen, and that was the entire goal the entire time. And it's working fabulously.
And you don't even have to go to the fact that it's poison. All we have to do, they can't mandate something that has a literal liability exemption given to them by the government. Like the people that manufacture this, if there is something wrong with this mandate and people get sick, there's no recourse. That's what we need to address.
Yeah.
No, we've beaten that over the head. I mean, at some point, who cares, Lou? Your government hates you. That's what's going on. Your government is taken over. This country is occupied.
Well, it's been, some say it's been occupied for about 100 years since 1913.
No, it's a slow process, Lou. I mean, if you want to go all the way back to the banks, we sure can. But I swear tonight, they should just fucking play the flute. You pull that shit. Look. No, I mean, with Colin Powell, look, of course, it's the banks. Of course. But it's time that people start realizing that this country is occupied. It's bad, and there's not going to be anything pretty. I mean, wait till inflation.
A little bit. Our elites are something definitely indifferent to our suffering, and probably because they just don't care.
They remind me of France. I mean, the French aristocracy is what they remind me of. Let them eat cake. If they're going to die, they better do it.
Dude, they all are being shown. They're all being shown without masks on. After they say you have to have masks, they're all destroying small businesses, not giving a fuck yet, doing whatever the fuck they want. I don't know when it's time to actually start doing what we need to do.
We'll get to masks. But while we're on the subject of doing what we need to do, I'm going to need you all to make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that crap. Go find us elsewhere. We're going to get banned on all the other platforms. And while you're at it, go buy one of Thad's glowy box thingies.
Hey, the glowy box thingy!
Hey, there you go.
There it is.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We love you. This is like a flaming Zeppelin right now. We are like the Hindenburg of podcasting.
Okay, so I personally have no idea what Casey's talking about, but
I don't know. Someone's calling. I guess someone insinuated that she was a porn star. It's like this. No. Our very own Casey's not a porn star. She might be very attractive, but she's not a porn star.
You were getting ready to say slutty.
You were going to say that.
No, I did not. I did not. I was not going to say that. I was going to say
somebody removed
slightly attractive. Then I took it back. Like,
there he goes,
she's actually all the way attractive
again. He's just going to start going into a full rampant misogynist rant.
Because
just want you to know, Thad, this is why you're never going to be president.
That's why
you need to clean. That's fine. You need to clean this shit up, or you're never going to be president.
You need to clear all your hard drives. You need to clear all your hard drives before you start on the campaign trail.
All that articulation just goes right out the window when you get all misogynist.
This is like, when I talk about the pseudophys and the enithides and the demonides,
I like
bitches love it.
I like massages just like the next man, but would y'all humor me on a small conversation about
probably not, but we're going to.
The Joe Rogan Gupta thing,
aren't we? So go for it, Lou.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to talk to y'all because the Sanjay Gupta interview came out, and then he came out on CNN and basically
Sanjay Gupta is a cuck.
How does that not show people? I mean, because if you actually watch the interview, which I finally did, because I was just watching clips of it, but if you finally watch it, the guy looks swarmy the whole time. He's constantly just trying to go against what science was just reading. He was just reading, and he was not allowing him to. It was a perfect observation of what the fuck is wrong. If you watch that one in the show right before that one,
do you want to know why it doesn't change anybody's minds, Lou?
Why?
Because everybody who's taken the shot and continues to run around with a mask and everything else, they're completely cucked out. And at this point, they love being abused by the government. And if you insinuate that they love being abused by the government, then they get upset with you. But they're never going to admit that they're wrong. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's one of the points that he made afterwards.
It's a sunk cost fallacy when it comes to they're dug into their position. And so to them, it's just like, it doesn't matter. Look,
that's exactly
Alex Berenson. Hell, they could have had on who's the other guy? They could have had on like Vanderbosch episode before that. You could have had on all these people before Sanjay Gupta to really prove the point in the show juxtaposition about the fact that like that dude is a piece of shit. He works for an organization that's a piece of shit, and they're fucking lying. Does
about everything
not matter. And
I guess
every fucking day.
The fact that CNN was caught using a green screen pretending to be combat reporters
in Iraq.
The fact that they did that and didn't lose like any viewership whatsoever. The fact that they didn't lose any of that at that point, then I don't know what else to fucking tell you.
Right.
I mean, to be fairly fucking honest.
Operation Mockingbird, bitches.
Right. Or the fact that I'm seeing on just lists at random, a lot of fucking dudes like us are defending Joe Rogan, either because they're listeners or B, because they can see the absolute hypocritical bullshit. And there are people literally like, what? No. Everybody who watches Joe Rogan, that's where they get their news, and he's not a news guy. And then, you know what? Fuck that.
Yeah, these are the same people fucking 20 years ago.
He's just having conversations with people. Yeah, he's just having conversations.
Fuck Joe Rogan. I don't need to defend him. I don't need to sit and spend any more time defending his dumb ass. He's fucking richer than me, and if he wants to pay my bills, that's fantastic. I'll defend him. Moving on.
I wasn't talking about it. Was nothing about Joe Rogan. It was more about Gupta, to be honest.
Yeah, fuck Gupta too, Lou. What do you want?
Gupta's been a swarmy bastard for a long time.
We're at this point in Clown World, we're at transracial. We're firing volunteers because they're too Caucasian. Like, it's on.
They did that. Okay, so you guys don't know about this, but the military started doing this shit fucking 6 or 7 years ago, which is why they can't fucking recruit anybody. They pretty much lined up the recruiters and told them, no white kids. None. Either female, black females, great. Black males, Hispanics. That is what you're going to recruit. So there are kids that were literally going to the militaries, trying to join up, and were being denied because,
well, let's be honest,
no more white kids.
They were probably denying them because they smell like you, Fury.
Probably. I smell great right now.
I bet he smells like timber.
I don't know. He had on that. You said he had on a bathrobe, right? So
I have a bathrobe.
You might have taken a shower. You might have squashed. You might have hit the problem spots, the hot spots.
Right. I smell like diesel. Cologne for men.
Hey, by the way, what the fuck is with this Iowa? You go to Iowa and there's like 20 different kinds of fuel there, and it's all made out of corn.
And it never ends. That state never ends. It never ends. It is fields as far as the eye can see.
Iowa ended pretty quickly. I'm gonna say I think Nebraska takes the cake for states that just don't end. It's like Omaha, and then how much more of this?
Hey, I used to go visit my aunt in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I palled around in Omaha. The problem is when you're leaving Indiana like me, and you have to go through Illinois to get to Iowa. That's like the beginning of the end of all things until you get into Council Bluffs, because it is fucking flat terrace fields, nothing. And then the only thing that some idiot says at a rest stop is, Slipknot's from here at Des Moines. Fuck off. It's Des Moines. God,
it's true.
It's Des Moines. It's Illinois, not Illinois.
This is supposed to be prime farmland.
Yeah,
that feeds the world, but yet it's the most inhospitable place to possibly live.
Yeah, whatever. They're too busy putting up these fucking bullshit windmills. All you see is fucking windmills, and then you see trucks with windmill blades on them.
I thought you were gonna say they had the little spinners that you get, like the old party spinners. They're all connected to big batteries.
Look. Let's face it. Energy policy in the United States is like that fucking pig in that commercial. Hanging out the pinwheel out the side of the car.
It's really fallen back since the pig farmer from Georgia put fucking sun panels on the White House. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Also, he gave us
idiot.
Yeah. He's the beginning. Well, no, Nixon is actually the beginning of really shitty energy policy, but Carter took it to like 11.
Let's face it. Let's face it, boys. I heard some rumors. They were floating in the wind. They were floating in the wind. You know what I mean? I don't have any good sources or anything like that. But let's face it. Our energy problems would be a thing of the past. But they're just trying to figure out how to fuck us with all the solutions they have.
Yeah, because all the solutions they have are madness.
Nuclear power.
It's funny, right? They're talking about when they talk about hydrogen. Let me nerd out for a second here. When they talk about hydrogen power, right? Which you should probably go to because of
or salt reactor.
Energy dense. You can actually use the cooling of the salt reactors, or at the very least light water reactors, not heavy water reactors.
Can you please clap for me that I know what the fuck that is, please? Can you please clap for me?
Sure.
Thank you. That is the most sarcastic clap I've ever fucking seen.
Okay. Well, I mean, because you broke my flow. Now I don't care anymore.
Sorry, go.
But here's my own conspiracy, though. This is my own that I've come up with, and that Jimmy Carter was actually kicking Ronald Reagan's ass in the polls, and then all of a sudden they called in their favors, the same CIA, George Bush cabal, and they got hostages to be taken, and then they showed it on the front page every day until that election, and as soon as that election was done, they wrapped that shit up. Never heard of them again. And Ronald Reagan won barely because they didn't have the same technology that they have now. So they actually had to trick and convince people back then. But anyways, that's mine.
Jimmy Carter was a piece of shit. Thank God fucking Reagan took that election or stole that election or whatever the fuck he was insinuating, because Jimmy Carter is basically, if we don't know who Jimmy Carter was, let's go Brandon.
Hey, speaking of saying let's go Brandon, you're not allowed to say that in the Canadian government anymore. They've said that they're going to fire anybody who says "Let's go, Brandon" in an email.
Wait. So what if one of their underlings has a son and they're watching his hockey game and they're like, "Let's go, Brandon," and they're just going to fire him? That's probably the most fucking French Canadian thing I've ever fucking heard. Good night, everybody. Fuck.